The piss hardens.
That's called kidney stones.
Yeah.
Yes, he's recording.
That's
called kidney stones, and you don't want those. No.
But Nano, I want kidney stones.
We're never gonna get a Red Bull sponsor.
Red Bull. My balls have hardened.
And this is where you do the cold open. Like, right here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Final 3 Braincells Podcast.
Welcome back to this bullshit.
Welcome. Yeah, pretty much.
See, it's right behind. Oh.
My name is John Cody. I am joined by
NanoBunTV and
Gears.
And today, we're not in our normal studio.
We're not
in our
here.
normal studio today. Today, we are at PJKT.
Projekt
Community.
World.
Damn,
We're not at Disney World.
No.
Actually, no, fuck Disney World. Let's go to Disneyland. California.
I've never been to either.
Skill issue. Issue and skill. I've been there twice. That is a weird flex to start this episode off with. Yeah, so we got bored of our set this is the 11th episode, and we are already bored of our set, so we're here in some random ass
We stole
world.
PJKT for a moment.
Yeah, some world that we're here, like, for no reason, like, we know nothing about this event. I'm definitely not on their staff team. We definitely don't have, like, I definitely don't have two booths here, one of which has a poster for the podcast on it. No, none of that would be happening.
No.
Show that on screen.
No.
Yep. Editor Nano put the image of the NanoBunTV booth. We don't have a booth for the podcast itself here at PJKT, but we do have a booth for me and my stuff, and there is a poster there for the podcast. It's really cool. There's also a Nakama Vibes booth as well, which I just made. I don't own Nakama, but I made the booth for it. It's confused a lot of people. They thought I'm the founder of Nakama just because I made the booth, which is weird because that's not happened for any other booths. No one else with any of these other booths have thought, oh, you made the booth, you must be the person who made this whole group. But for some reason, Nakama worked that way. I don't know why. It's
because you're so. It's because you're so pronounced on the fucking the poster.
Yeah,
I am pretty big on the Nakama poster, to be fair.
There's two things about it that screams like, hey, maybe Nano did this. One, the logo is like super rainbow, which is like your whole aesthetic. And
yeah, the whole rainbow tie. Yeah.
Like you're like probably one of the most pronounced people on that whole poster. On like anything relating to Nakama.
Like, there is, I don't know if you've looked at the A on the Nakama logo, but there is bunny ears on the A. But also the M is a Torii gate, witchy. So, it is very true.
Man, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna interrupt you for 1 second.
Go ahead.
Mom, thank you for clearing that out. I forgot to do that.
Keep it in.
Thank you for taking care of that. I forgot to do that. Okay, cool. I'm recording, so I'll talk to you later. Or unless you're already in bed.
We keep it all in.
We keep it all in.
Yeah, we keep it all in. It's all
keep it all in, but like I'm gonna reduce that volume a lot. But we keep it all in.
Because I'm basically yelling.
I'm gonna say one thing. Just light a firework inside your house.
Okay, I'll yell as loud as I can.
That works.
It does work. It does work. So we're recording this episode here on July 6th.
Good morning, Mom.
So there's still what the fuck English? There's still people setting off fireworks outside. Even though it's now 2 days. In 2 hours from now, it'll be 3 days from the 4th of July.
We gotta celebrate America.
What the fuck is a kilometer?
I buy Gears. There's a meme that I really, really love, which is the amount of countries that have a day where they were freed from the British. And
that's a massive celebration.
It was ours. Look, it was our turn to celebrate the time where we were freed from the British.
British people are scary. Those things are very scary.
All I could think is Futurama Freedom Day.
We know so many British people.
That's why it's funny that I say it, because
especially me.
Surely I have the pass, right?
The majority of the Projekt community that we're associated with are British.
I mean, yeah, it's very true. It's very true. What was I going to say? So we were going to talk a bit about PJKT, as in a Projekt community, or rather PJKT FEST. Projekt Community Festival? No, I don't think they call it that. They just call it PJKT FEST. And it is this annual VR chat convention from a lot of the people who made VRCon possible. Pretty much the entirety of the team, save for a couple people here and there. I don't know exactly, but if anyone remembers VRCon, it was a great VR convention that happened from 2020 to 2022. And there was 3 different annual events, and then it kind of fell apart, and then became PJKT, which has then been 2023, and this year, 2024. This is the second one. It has been crazy. It has been amazing. There's been a massive amount of additional communities. There's tons of booths. It's just been so good. Over the past, I've been here like every single day, except for my birthday, because this also overlapped with that. I've been here every single day. Promoting like my 3D printed name tags and like all that stuff. You guys can find more info about that on my website. You probably already seen it before, but I've just been doing that like every single day. And what I found out, holy fuck, everyone here is just so kind. Like everyone here is kind and so like interested and intrigued by what's going on. People are just walking up and being like, "What's this booth about?" And then I get to do a whole spiel. It's like, it feels like something out of 2018 VR chat again. It doesn't feel like it's the year's 2024. It really just feels like it's the Projekt Community. It feels like a community. Who would have thought? It's kind of shocking, honestly. Like it doesn't really. Sometimes in VR chat, it's pretty easy to forget that like this is even possible to really bring people together that are nice, kind people who are all interested in like and there's even like a lot of cross promotion going on. Like there will be booths where people are like, here's all the stuff we do, also you should check out this other booth because they do similar stuff, and that booth is like halfway across the map, and it's like they don't even interact that much, but it's just like there's another group that does like a similar thing, you should go check them out too. And it's like so
DJ
nice.
Podcast.
Well, that's one example, yeah, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Have you told John about that actually at all?
No,
okay, perfect.
Your balls will be tormented
later.
Your
balls will be tormented. No. So
wait.
Okay, so
wait, is this a Novids
not
podcast?
Novids, however, I'll also talk about that in a moment too. So on that same stretch over there is another podcast called VR Virtual Reality Degens, or right, like VRD, something like that, right?
I got their website.
Okay, he has it exactly. Shout out, except a shout out won't be necessary exactly, but I'll get to that. So it's a podcast over there. There's 2 hosts, and they have a booth.
Never mind. I'm also part of the Discord.
Oh, perfect.
Metaverse Degen.
Metaverse Degens, right, that's what it is. And they have a booth over there, and there's 2 hosts. I think they do like pretty much exclusively guest episodes where they bring along like an extra 2 or 3 people. So they do like 4 or 5 person episodes. But there's only 2 main hosts, 2 mainstays, and they came over to our booth, I guess my booth with our poster, and like, I told them, like, oh yeah, I was thinking in my head to make a joke about how, oh, look at this lesser podcast booth, point and laugh. I never actually made the joke, I don't think, but I told him I wanted to make the joke, and then, you know, all of a sudden, I guess, at some point, here's the current idea, even though I haven't talked to you about it, but still, I mean, I know you're not going to hate it.
Are we roped in?
No,
Did we get roped in?
I think this would be pretty fun, would be to do, at least 2 episodes here. One where we bring them on our show, in our world, and then one where we go to theirs. But the worlds are inverted.
We don't have enough space on the set.
No, the couch can fit 2 people.
On that thing?
Our couch can, our secondary couch can fit 2 people.
I'm gonna tell you this: they don't have a world. What they do is that they bring people. They kind of like, hey, what kind of world do you want to do an interview in? And so they don't actually have a real set. Mm-hmm. They just kind of like bring people to other places and just kind of
they bounce around.
A recording all of a sudden on one.
Because originally, before finding that out,
to a dungeon.
Oh, the sex dungeon.
We're going to the porn studio. Whee!
There he goes.
We're getting the casting couch.
Whoa! So originally my idea was going to be, oh yeah, let's do an episode on their show, but where it's taking place in our world, and then let's do an episode on our show where it's taking place in their world, but they don't have one. But I still want to do it that way anyway, so we'll probably just go to one of their favorite worlds. No, we're not doing the fucking casting couch. Shut up. No. We can't do that.
I pop shoved it.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then there's Novid's podcast over there as well, which I was. Were you on it at one point? You were on there, right? Yeah.
I'm not on it yet, but I do have at least a invite from him to do it at some point in the near future.
I remember he either mentioned that you had been on it before, or that you were hopefully going to be on it at some point. But I was also invited
I'm
to it as
to
well.
Be on it here soon, yeah.
Yeah. Now we do another thing where it's you and I, like where it was you, me, and Volt. No. Well, I mean, it was fine, but Train of Thought didn't get to exist during Volt's show.
Do. Yeah.
Also, I pulled an all-nighter that night.
Yeah, I definitely do. Am interested in just doing it where it's like it's just me because I don't know. I like the spotlight.
Oh, really, Mr. John Code himself? To the uninitiated, John is full of himself. But, you know, in a certain way that adds a bit of character and is like not to the line of like fucking annoying. Yet. Keyword yet.
I can push some limits.
Mm-hmm. And before we nerd out a little bit more about PJKT stuff, or we'll probably think about little things here and there throughout this episode, but like I know Gears, you probably have a lot of things to pop up here and there, and of course we'll mention the connection terminated. But I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth. So I wanted to mention here that my birthday actually was just in the middle of PJKT Fest. The festival overlapped with TwitchCon Rotterdam, and also it overlapped with the 4th of July. However, with the 4th of July, at least, they did no events that day. They had all events paused for that day. Meanwhile, for TwitchCon Rotterdam, for some reason, the first 3 days, this was 10 days long, PJKT is, and the first 3 days also overlapped with TwitchCon. So, but I didn't really see a reduction in people, thankfully, so that was kind of surprising. I thought I'd see a reduction. It was about the same all around.
Okay. That was a major concern of mine of just like is TwitchCon being during the same time going to affect it in some way, or is there just not going to be very many people? So
I really thought it would.
Too bad. So that's good.
I was really under the assumption that it would.
I genuinely thought it would, but I guess not.
But instead, it was fine.
I think there was also a lot less. People at TwitchCon this year as well, because I didn't go, and I think several other people didn't go. So
I do know San Diego is going to be crazy. However, with all the people that I've been told are going to San Diego, that one's going to be crazy this year, especially due to all the people that didn't go last year because Vegas. Because a lot of people didn't want to go to Vegas, and a lot of people also just couldn't afford to go last year.
I liked Vegas. I really liked Vegas.
Like, I don't think I would have hated it.
I'm probably like one of the few people. Yeah.
Look, I love gambling.
One of the few people that actually liked Vegas,
but not actual money. But I love gambling.
I mean, I didn't.
Let's go gambling.
Whenever I went, I didn't gamble. It's just whenever I went, like all the different stuff that was there, like everything was just extravagant. Like everything was just like,
that'd be cool.
Huge extravagant. Like every building was just extravagantly made. It was like its own art piece type of deal. Just like with all the different themes and all sorts of different things. So it's really like whenever you go and you just look at the buildings and like the architecture and stuff, it is really insane. So it's
I definitely do think I'll go at some point to Vegas. At some point in my life, surely I'll be in Vegas. Like, you know, life is long. You know, I just turned 19 as of my birthday of July 4th.
They're old.
Me always being able to... I went to the beach that makes me old. I got old. It's so sad. Went to the beach that makes you old. Don't go to the beach that makes you old. Because it does do that. Whenever I think of that, I just think of like the AI version of fucking Joe Rogan and Ben Shapiro talking about the beach that makes you old. And he's like, I'm gonna go to it right now. I'm telling you, this doesn't make you old. And then he goes and he comes back and he's like, yeah, I got old. And you can just see he's fucking aged like 30 years.
That's funny.
Yeah.
To talk a little bit about PJKT as well, I did miss quite a bit of it because of the fact that I went to Texas. I talked about that last episode. Additionally, I did not, during PJKT 2023, Mythos Makers had a booth. Unfortunately, this year we did not have a booth, because timelines in terms of like when I would be around was just not going to work out, so I wouldn't be able to be around that much. And also, everything happened literally between like the start of like whenever we could start doing a lot of booth stuff, and to like the opening of PJKT, just so much stuff happened. So
True.
However, Mythos Makers was promoted during this.
wait, what?
So,
It was?
you know how there's the slideshow of all of the different name tags on my booth that I've made?
Oh, yeah.
There's your name tag in the slideshow, and your name tag has mythosmakers.com on it.
Show that on screen.
Oh, yeah.
Show that on screen.
Editor, Nano, put that on screen,
I buy their tags for stuff. I usually like to, because I have like all sorts
TwitchCon
of
and stuff.
I change my emblem
John got tagged.
every year, and so I have that for like TwitchCon or other different events that I go to and all that kind of stuff. And it was on there. I completely forgot that it was on there.
Yeah.
That's funny. Additionally, to talk about your booth as well,
Mhm.
you put the entire ending speech of Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator on the back of your table. It just scrolls past in like this really fast text mesh that just scrolls so fast. Like I really had to like focus on it and just try to read it for me to actually like figure out what it was. And once I figured out, I was like, that little rat bastard.
Yeah, the text scrolls by really quickly. I thought I got it to a good speed where you can read it, but I only tested it in desktop, so that's kind of what was deceiving a little bit. But yeah, on the back side of the counter, because a lot of these booths here all have counter, like they've like got a counter for a person to stand behind, especially the template booths, which I use a template booth because I didn't have time to go touch Blender and model things. No, that's scary. Blender's scary. 3D modeling is scary things. But I mean, I will say a lot of the custom 3D model booths around here are like absolutely
We're sitting
astounding.
on one.
We're sitting on.
Yeah.
I don't even. What booth is it that we're sitting on top of right now?
We
That has the
actually don't know
beanbag
what
chairs.
booth this
It is the No Friends Club. No Friends Club.
Yeah, the No Friends Club. Shout out to having these guys having a nice booth that happened to be placed in front of the stage because I wanted to get the stage in the shot
In
here.
front of the,
And there was a second floor with beanbags with like just barely enough beanbags and pillows to where the three of us can sit with that still behind us. It worked perfectly.
Oh, so for everyone who doesn't know, the No Friends Club is literally an entire club in VR chat that you can join for people who are very like have either antisocial tendencies or just not very sociable in general. And basically the entire group is so that these people can actually, gain the ability to make friends and actually stay connected.
Yeah, it's awesome. Are you part of it? I know I'm not. I don't think you are.
No,
so-
I heard the spiel. I
Okay,
heard
you
the
heard the
spiel.
spiel. Okay, so yeah,
Whenever.
none of us are a part of it, so not affiliated with. However, go check them out because they're cool. Unless they get canceled or something, I don't know. I gotta future-proof everything.
Yeah, who knows?
I might get
You gotta
canceled. Shit,
future-proof
the
everything.
producer of the podcast might get canceled. Gotta future-proof this. Better remove
No.
myself from the show. What?
You can't get canceled when I'm gone.
Wait, what?
He's gone. Can't get canceled if he's gone.
Hey, as if we get rid of Nano, then I can be able to take over the podcast, and at that point, it can actually become an official Mythos Makers thing.
Damn.
John,
Goddamn it.
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't overtake the podcast.
Mutiny! Mutiny on the pod!
Hello there, Editor Gears here. John's audio hit the bed, so we're on backup audio now. This is also filler.
Seen it recently. So what we did recently on Mythos Makers, I don't even think I actually talked about it publicly at all. But what I did was that instead of our video section, because we had like the John Likes to Talk podcast, which I'm barely done, and then like my videos and Rain's videos and Frog's videos and things like that. So instead of having all that stuff hosted on the site, I just made links to each of our YouTube channels, because at that point it was just so it was rough. Because here's the thing about hosting videos on a website. You have to literally decode everything. Oh my goodness. Especially if you want multiple resolutions and stuff for you to properly do it. It is such a pain.
Yep. We call that transcoding, right?
Science where I was it's like transcoding. Yeah, I have a script that does all that for me pretty easily, but it's so wonky. It's so wonky.
All the platforms that you're if you're listening to this right now on YouTube, you're probably taking for granted, honestly. Well, fuck YouTube and fuck the trying to print out ad blocks and all the things YouTube does. However, credit where credit is due. Video distribution is a fucking shit show. Honestly, it's kind of crazy.
Whenever you're doing like website video stuff, whenever you transcode it, it goes into a ton of these like tiny, like 3-second or less like sections, and you just have a whole bunch of those, and that all makes up into one video. The same thing would also potentially be done with audio tracks, depending on if you have multiple different audio tracks for different things. Like say, for instance, like if you have a dub of something or whatever, or like a different version of audio or whatever.
I guess you'd need that to be able to have the existence of buffering. You know, I guess
that's it's entirely. Oh my god, it's entirely a buffering thing, to where it's like it buffers each of those little sections, so that then it has those little parts of the sections loaded, and then there's one master file that just is a file that says, okay, all of these videos here are a part of the one video, so then it can tell the website or the video player that here's all of the videos and their paths and their addresses to wherever. So then go ahead and pull these from there, or buffer from each of these different parts during these different times. It's a whole different thing, and it's something that like is it like web developers are gonna know exactly what I'm talking about here. It's really confusing for like most other people, but web developers probably know exactly like what I'm talking about, is if they've ever worked with like a like full scale video player or anything like that. Like it is.
When you really boil things down, the internet is kind of amazing how it functions. I mean, it's pretty damn cool.
It's wild.
A lot of these things in life, like I'm trying to think of a recent example. I can't really think of one, but like all the time, I'll learn how to like do something brand new. I'll learn like. I mean, this was back when I learned like Unity, the game engine, or like recently when I actually learned how to use I learned the scripting language PowerShell, and made some cool stuff with that, some cool like automation stuff. And it's just like with all these things, once you learn how it's done, then you have like massive appreciation and like fascination on how like, wow, that works, and everyone probably takes it for granted, but I know how it works, and it's cool to think about. It's like the same thing for video editing, where like you see these crazy hyper edited videos, but like you and I, we edit videos, so like we have a good understanding of like how the fuck difficult some of this shit is, and like how long a 10-second clip of a video could take to edit, depending on how edited it is.
You also kind of figure out like a lot of the different nuances to different things, of just like whenever you're like on a website or something, and just like, why isn't this there? Like some people are like, maybe it might have been too complicated. Is if you actually are in the know of like how things work, and you're like, that's easier than you think. Like, why is that not like why is that not functioning, or why is that not working the way that it should? Is it like you start to kind of notice these little things?
It's
especially
called
with UI stuff. Like, is if there's like these weird UI issues that on a website or something, then you're just like, boy.
Gears, you probably have a little bit of experience with this feeling, because you've been learning Python, right?
I had to put that on pause.
Oh yeah, right. Because you're currently like doing all the job search and all that, those things.
No, it's because
Speaking of learning things,
well,
Python doesn't cost anything.
No. It's specifically a schooling class.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I didn't know if you were like just looking at
that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, the broke bitch solution is just to watch a bunch of YouTube videos, old and new, probably some from 20 years ago, and then some from like last year, and then all of them have bits and pieces of info that are outdated, and you combine that with documentation that makes you want to sleep.
No.
Yeah, or you could just like wait till you have some money and do a course. You know, that's like, you know, you can do that too.
The courses are way easier to follow, and also they actually give me like little things that I have to like program. And,
yeah. Have you been enjoying that though? When you were doing it though,
like a course is going to.
Yeah. I actually was.
Nice. Okay.
As long as there was an actual course that was, I don't think. So if you're ever gonna do it, don't do Codefinity. Codefinity kind of sucked.
Damn. Well, we're not getting Codefinity sponsor.
Yeah, we're not
was
getting
kind of a-
sponsored with that.
it was
I
kind
don't
of
think
a-
we're getting sponsors from any of those types of things.
No.
It was a bunch of basically like people made their own courses, and so you get one that's like,
Oh,
oh yeah, this is
okay.
the basics, and then this is like another one that's like the basics, but it's exactly the same thing. And then we're just like,
You need
So it's sort of like a weird
100
masterclass
basics.
situation.
so yeah, I think if I was gonna do it again, I'd probably go through Coursera or something like that, something a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, well, off of the tech bullshit, where were we before this? Oh yeah, I wanted to mention, so my birthday this year, not super eventful, but I did want to mention something really cool that I think John, I mean, even then you might think it's like, oh damn, that's pretty cool, but for me this is like a big deal. Like this is a big deal for me. So
John,
my uncle.
they did porn.
What?
So my uncle.
You're finally learning Godot.
No!
You're finally learning Godot.
Oh god, no. Yeah, for my birthday I booted up Godot because I wanted to get more gray hairs. I wanted to feel older.
Come on.
By learning another
used
fucking
Unity. You learned Unity.
Yeah, it's more so just
Unity
like
is a fuck.
it's more so just learning something just any new game development engine, especially after you already know one. Like and are so familiar with just one. I would have gotten some gray hairs from it for sure. But no, why the fuck would I learn a game development software on my birthday? No. But still game related. Games. So I made porn. No. So I made I didn't make anything actually. I got games. So let me explain. And there's a reason why I said before we started recording, there's a reason that my user icon on VR chat, why did it change back? I had it set to Scott the Woz. Where did it go?
Did you get like a
Scott
retro
the
game?
Woz.
Just keep going.
So, anyways, now it's set to Scott again. Audio listeners, you can't even see it anyways. It's invisible on the video. But my
Video
uncle,
listeners can't see it.
yeah, video listeners can't see it either. And my uncle has had something for a really long time. That I've wanted for a really long time. I mentioned this before my last birthday, actually. So when I was 17, going on 18, he had something that I wanted for a really long time because I know he wasn't doing anything with it. I knew it was just sitting in a closet collecting dust. But then again, he's like the type of guy who he has trouble letting go of certain things like that. He's a big kid. No. No.
Did you
I did not
get
get a
some
Virtual
form of
Boy.
retro console?
I got an NES and a bunch of games.
Oh,
And I'm so happy.
Oh,
The NES is working. The 72-pin connector is fucked and needs to be boiled or replaced.
You are gonna have to send me what games you have because
I got a lot. Of course, I got two
This is
cartridges.
porn to
I got
John.
two of the Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt cartridges, like two of the double cartridges. So, just in case one goes wrong, I can always play Duck Hunt and Super Mario Bros.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also just a Super Mario Bros. Cartridge on top of it. But yeah, NES, 2 controllers, blaster, and a bunch of games. And that's all of it.
Oh, fantastic!
And I'm so happy the blaster was
Fantastic.
included as well. So it does work. We were able to, after fucking with it like constantly, eventually it finally gives a readout. I played a little bit of the start of Super C. Played a bit of Super C at the start, and it was working pretty fine. The controller, the buttons weren't even like that mushy, and I know this thing was abused. I know it was. So the fact that the buttons actually felt pretty good was nice. I'd still probably get them a little bit fixed or cleaned up or something or other, but I definitely need to clean a lot of the internals of the console. I need to, like I said, replace or clean off and fix that 72-pin connector, because this console barely wants to read games. You have to like take it out, put it back in like 50 times. Eventually it finally reads the game, but then if you touch the console, it's gonna stop reading it again. So
Oh yeah.
it's
Those things-
so good though.
Those things can be extremely finicky.
It was working and I was playing game. I played more. It was more than just Super C. I think also tried a couple others that wouldn't want to boot up. Tried launching Super Mario Bros. That one did load. Was able to play through like the first half of the World 1-1. So like it's working, outputting just fine. Like of course because this house is ancient, so we just had some fucking some AV cable lying around, so it worked. And yeah. And the TV we have downstairs actually surprisingly still has ports for that, but also has HDMI. It's not an old TV by any means.
I was going to ask if it was an HD TV or a flat screen LCD TV, or if it was a CRT.
It is a flat screen, yeah, but it had it still looked pretty good when we plugged it in there. We had it set to composite, and we were so fucking confused why it was black and white. Everyone gave up on it. I kept fucking with it. I changed the input to AV instead. I'm like, there's the color. I kept looking it up so many times. I thought it was something wrong that I did. Because no, the audio was working, and the video was working, but the video was just black and white. I was so confused. I'd never messed with AV or composite before in my life, so this was a first. But yeah, it worked, and it was honestly, I'm so happy about it. It is now currently sealed up in a box in the other room, because I don't have time right now to clean it off and like actually find a proper place to put it. Yeah. So I'm just leaving all of its stuff in the box right now. And but I'm so happy that I got that. That's like the only thing I got for my birthday. Other than that, I got an Amazon package of like a bunch of snacks and like a little bit of birthday money. But like, you know, there wasn't really much I wanted this year. This is like the first birthday off of like 18 where then they just start to like ramp down. I also was too busy to actually do like a party in VR chat, which of course would have made things a whole lot better. I just didn't have time to do that. That's why I think next year's, like my birthday next year will probably be like way better. I've just been really busy lately, and but you know, getting a fucking NES is cool as shit. It's so awesome. I'll take that. Huge W. Busy. Never heard of it.
My birthday is like towards the end of the month, and my mom was just like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And it's like, I have no clue. So I had to kind of like just
mental instability.
Eventually, which is like, yeah. I eventually was just like, as if you can on eBay, like there's a ton of animation cells from the old Looney Tunes stuff.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, as if you could get a hold of one of those. I don't know if she has or will or anything like that. I don't know. They're expensive. Like a lot of the really good ones are expensive. But
animation cells really are so cool.
Oh yeah.
I think I have
I've only seen a few. It's been years since I've seen them because I went on a Warner Brothers tour several years ago, and I really want to go on another one here soon so I can be able to look at it. Well, I want to go on like both a Warner Brothers tour and a Disney Animation Studio tour, so that then I can try and see if I can see more animation related stuff, because I really want to see more stuff related to animation.
My dad and grandpa went on the tour of the of somewhere in California where they have the like Disney I don't know what exactly this building is called, but they do a tour there, and they have like a bunch of old stuff and like the old animating room and the old like old films cells all over the walls and stuff. I don't remember exactly what place it's called. It's kind of a museum tour thing, but also I don't think they do any actual operations there. Shut up, phone, to say hey Google and then immediately follow it up with no, stop.
Nice.
Shut up.
The ball's hard.
She thought I actually said it, but just to tell her to like die, as in turn off the phone. See, I'm not gonna say the KYS thing because that would be bad. No, I wouldn't say that. There was something else I was gonna mention. You go.
I mean, is if we're wanting to talk about trips and stuff, I went to Texas.
Yeah. So what the fuck happened? Because to the uninitiated, even though there will not be a gap of episodes here unless I delay an episode a week, but there shouldn't be a gap in episodes between 10 and 11 for you guys, hopefully. But for us there was. It's been 2 weeks since we recorded the last episode, which is different from our typical 1 week. So because John was in Texas, and even if he wasn't going to go to Texas, he was going to go to TwitchCon, which also still would have overlapped anyway. So no matter what, last week, episode we were going to record last week, last week's episode would have not been recorded no matter what. But what'd you do? What the fuck happened with Texas?
Essentially, I went. So to give a little bit of context, last week I ended up not being able to go to Rotterdam. I'm not going to disclose entirely what happened quite yet regarding that is, but
it might be something
I won't be able to do until way later in time.
might be something for a way later episode. So stay tuned. Stay tuned with our bullshit for a long time, and hopefully we're still here by the time you can talk about that.
Yeah. But yeah, I went to because I didn't get to go to Rotterdam, I instead went to Texas. So the reason I went to Texas was I ended up visiting my uncle who lives down there. So I went first. I went on Saturday. I flew in from Oklahoma over to where he lives. I stayed like several different days. Me and him hung out. I got to meet quite a few different people who were also there that was friends with my uncle, and we also did some stuff in terms of job hunting and job related stuff. So we did a bunch of that. I also did a bunch of other work whilst I was there, including trying to learn a little bit of Godot, which is so I posted on Twitter not too long ago of me remaking at least a small portion of the beginning of Cave Story, one of my most favorite games of all time.
I was so fucking confused when you were in Texas and I see John Code is now playing Godot. Like, what? You're the type of guy to launch a game development software well away from you're several states away with family.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Well, that was a Monday where my uncle still works, but he works from home most of the time. So he was remoting in throughout the Monday. So me and him were able to chat a little bit for a while, and then after we did a bunch of stuff, I then went back up into essentially the room that I was given, and just was like, all right, I'm gonna try out Godot, and I'm gonna try and learn this thing. I stayed up until I think like 1 a.m. that night, like working on Godot, which I probably shouldn't have done, but oh well.
This motherfucker is the type of guy who would open Godot while waiting in fucking line for something at Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
On my computer from like wherever.
You pull out one of those phones with the flip, like that has the keyboard that slides out, like one of those really old ones. I had one of those at one point. Those ones, yeah. It's not even Windows.
Yeah, so I also recorded a little bit of that. So I don't know if it will be out by the time that this episode comes out. But I've also been like documenting like the development process. I'm going to be posting a video about it at some point in the near future. I don't know if it'll be out by the time this is done. But
nice.
Yeah. So learning that, and then my parents and then my cousins came in the following Tuesday, and then we all just for the next few days just hung out with each other. We went to like 2 different water parks.
Oh damn!
And then just kind of did a bunch of weird activities and stuff like that. So it was really neat. Around where my uncle lives is a really, really neat area. And so I do want to go back. But the problem is that Texas is freaking hot. We were in 100-degree weather the entire time. And whilst at the water parks, it was fine.
Yeah, I mean...
we did stuff of like going around the towns and stuff, we mostly walked. And my God, was it hot. My God, was it hot.
Yeah, been pretty hot lately, just generally in central US.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I think I'm gonna go back in like October, potentially, and try and check out all that stuff, mostly by myself, because I like to travel alone most of the time. So I'm gonna probably go by myself, and then also just go whenever it's cooler, because I do want to like walk around more of the areas and stuff, because some of the different places that we went to were really, really freaking cool. Like like really freaking cool. So I really want to go back at some point with like a sketchbook or an iPad or something and just like draw a lot of it. I just explore it and check it out. So
everyone's like, stop taking photos, taking the scenery. No, I'm taking a photo. I'm fucking drawing this shit on a photo.
I'm taking a photo.
I'm taking a photo. Give me like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Depends on the detail.
It won't take me 20 minutes
if
to make a
if you're
drawing.
gonna like fully colorize it, you know, like if you got like a box of colored pencils and shit, then you know that would take a while, but it would look amazing. But like,
No, I'm just
a lot of
gonna
colored
have,
pencil
like, 3
shading.
2B, graphite pencils with me.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna have like 3 2B graphite pencils with
And
me.
then
that's
there's
it.
me. I draw the stick figure in the background. Is there something you wanted to say? You've been over here. You've been over here. You want to say anything about Texas? About Texas Hold'em? Texas Hold'em card game?
Texas hot.
It does that! Cause fuck Mother Nature! Oh my god.
yeah,
Isn't there like a hurricane going on right now? Like somewhere in like South US or like Mexico or something?
It's getting close. There's a hurricane. It's gonna get into there, and it's gonna rain, but it's not gonna be like horrible for Texas in particular. I think Florida will definitely get hit, but I don't remember how much. Like Texas will definitely get covered, which is actually really good for them because they've been in a hardcore drought for literally 2 years.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of flooding never hurt anyone, right? Never destroyed any sort of infrastructure ever. But no, I just remember with Texas, it's like there was a video a couple of years ago where Schlatt moved to Texas, and it's like the first several fucking days that he's there's just no power because they have no infrastructure for when it even gets a little bit cold in Texas. Then all of the infrastructure in the entire fucking state pretty much just ceases to function. No one has power. Yeah. Like society falls apart because Texas got a bit cold. Like it's like how the UK fucking falls apart when it gets like what we call
really hot.
What we call like an 80 degrees Fahrenheit day. You know, maybe like 90.
80-degree Fahrenheit, yeah.
Yeah. And I keep seeing a lot of discourse about that whole thing of like, oh, these people aren't adapted to it, and also they don't have air conditioners, and also they have like there's like humidity, and also but then I also do see some replies of people being like, yeah, I live in the US and I've also been over there, or I don't know. I've seen people like who actually would be experienced to talk on this, who know the differences and are like, yeah, no, it's actually just the same thing. So I don't know. Get better?
I don't know.
No, not that. I'm sure there really is a lot of places. I'm sure there's a lot of places that fucking that would suck for though. And then here there's like the Midwest where it's just like, yeah, we're prepared for the hottest of hots and the coldest of cold, and we have basements for tornadoes, which reminds me of episode 8, which came out today.
I saw the edit that you did.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the intro and the outro especially for episode 8, you should go watch that, the video version specifically, because it is so fucking funny. So the intro, the outro is related to tornado, but the intro, because the first like half of it we're talking about LARP, and then the second half we're kind of talking about tornado stuff. So for the intro, Gears says his name, and then I pause the video, I freeze frame it, and with the fucking Minecraft cave sound, fade in this stupid ass photo of your horrid posture.
My neck.
Your XQC posture.
My pussy and my back.
It was just so bad.
I haven't seen the intro. I've seen the outro, but I haven't seen the intro. That's so funny.
So here, it's this image. It's that. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh.
You see that fucking...
That's funny.
It's so bad.
That's so funny.
Audio listeners, I uploaded it as a VR chat emote, so I'm throwing it around. There he is. It's so bad. And then the outro is I'm very proud of as well. I was working on that like right before going to bed last night, and it's just the fucking tornado and the EAS alert and the sirens and the wind and the fucking screen shake.
Just zoomed in on me.
Zooming into John right before he says outro because he's having Oklahoma PTSD. I don't know if you noticed, but that EAS alert that showed up on the screen was one for Oklahoma specifically.
Oh, perfect.
It says Oklahoma City, and then it gets cut off. But the audio is from actually something about some like actual EAS thing from Washington. but like a tornado warning in Washington. Yeah, but the video there, you can see it says Oklahoma City. I just threw that in. I'm like, is there an ES alert specifically from Oklahoma that's like uploaded to YouTube that I can put in right in front of John's face? Because I think that'd be pretty funny. Little thing there. I found it. It was great outro. It reminded me of the fact that despite the fact that I've not been editing much, I've still got the touch, and I can make some pretty fucking cool things with video editing. What do you mean watch it? Ego or like ego?
You've got the touch.
Ego. Okay. So I was like, are you saying this like calm down with the ego or calm down with the sexual joke opportunity?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the second option. Got it.
Sure.
The balls harden. Gears, you know a lot about balls hardening.
But yeah.
Would you like to talk about the way that you've been promoting this podcast to people at PJKT FEST? Would you like to explain to them how you've been promoting the show? Because it's something.
Are you using guerrilla marketing?
Follow our OnlyFans.
I guess we have one because of the amount of times he's mentioned it.
No, I want to make one for I really want.
Can we upload full episodes of the show into OnlyFans?
No. I would probably make we'd probably like make little snippets of.
No,
like,
all I upload is just the photos, the outtakes that nobody's ever seen of the thumbnail of the day when we took all the thumbnails, where it's you two jerking each other off, but like invisible. You know,
it's just those.
I jerk my chicken for 7 hours.
Fuck. No one's ever seen those photos. No, a couple people have, but no one publicly has ever seen those photos. But there is a collection. This is actually the first time we're talking about it. There's a collection there when we were taking a bunch of photos of us for the like to use as photos for the thumbnails for YouTube and all the other platforms have thumbnails. What the fuck is? Oh, he's swiveling in the chair. Woo! ADHD swivel in the chair.
Join us. I'm not in a swivel chair.
He's on a swivel chair.
Swivel
regardless. We're fucking stupid.
But no, other than that, I've actually been the one at Nano's stall for like the most part, other than whenever.
He's been better at marketing than I have been, honestly.
Faye told me today.
And basically what I do is that when someone shows up, I go, "Have you heard the spiel?" And then they go, "No," and I go, "Hello, welcome to the NanoBunTV shop, where you can buy everything under the sun. You can buy VR chat name tags, ballad songs that are made of plastic. We've only had one person stab themselves, and also wall switches and toggles."
Did you know Lillian fucking stabbed herself with one of my knives?
Of course it was Lillian.
Of course it was.
And then you can.
I am not surprised. I'm not surprised Lillian stabbed herself with a knife.
So then I go, you can find everything and that and more at that QR code right there. And then also you can find their Twitch, Discord, YouTube, and every Saturday we record a podcast. And you can see that stuff right here. John right there is a beautiful bitch.
But he's not here today, and his hat was stolen by this bitch over here. And then we point to Faye.
I point over to Faye and I go, "There's John right there."
Makeshift John. Yeah.
This is literally temporary John.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
John is in Texas.
Oh my god, I'm so unbelievably happy that you decided to put your hat on Faye's avatar for just in general, because it was an amazing request, and I'm glad you went through with it, because holy shit, that's like opened up a lot of joke potential over the past like week. It's been amazing.
Oh my god.
Faye has been honestly the best stand-in for John there ever was.
No hard feelings, but you suck. Actually... No. You see, no one has the flavor of ego that you have. Okay, that can't be replaced.
That really can. But no, so we've just been making.
I'm glad I have something.
But no, we've just been making the joke that Faye is just John, and for a little bit we kept on calling her John.
But like, yeah, just for a moment here and there. Also, a lot of people confuse her for you without us even having to mention it in the first place. So. They were like, is that John right there? We're like, no, that's...
Is that John?
No, that's
No.
No, that's John. That is John. I don't know what you're talking about, Nano.
John transitioned like immediately, like really quickly.
We
Very
took a
quickly,
picture
yeah.
for the first night that we were kind of on the world. We actually took a picture with.
I haven't actually. I did put it on Twitter.
Y'all posted it on Twitter. I
did put it on Twitter. Yeah, because it's like
Wait, you put it on Twitter.
I wanted a photo.
I see this shit.
I wanted a photo of the three of us in front of the podcast poster. However, you weren't here, but you know that worked out anyways. It was fun. It was cool.
I was not there.
You were not here. Hello.
Oh, there's pictures. There's pictures.
Okay.
I didn't see pictures.
Okay.
Oh, look, I'm dead.
You're floating.
You actually posted that picture of me just laying on the ground.
Oh yeah,
the face covering me with that.
Yeah, your face covered with the hat. It's so good. Huh? You are floating above your
There's
chair.
me climbing over. What?
You're floating.
I'm blurry now. How do you feel?
He's so blurry.
I'm censored good.
So funny.
No, don't say you're censored good. You can't say that.
I'm censored good and you can't stop me.
Unbelievable.
By the way, blur is not destructive.
That's true.
I also been doing the promoting of the voicing stuff while I've been here as well.
Even though you don't have the Fiverr set up.
No. I just want people just to fucking just email me or like Discord.
Is your email public anywhere?
No, because I don't have an email that's specifically designed.
You have a bio. Also, actually, hold on. No, I've got exactly the thing here. I could 100% get you a email address for like Gears at F3B Podcast.com. You like the idea of that, don't you? You're slowly turning your head towards me.
Email. Can we have a mail-in email address so that people would ask like questions and stuff for the show?
We've had that since episode 1 on the whole. I find it funny neither you didn't know that either.
Wait, what?
The whole time near the bottom of the homepage there is right into the show and there is the email address. It's also been on the YouTube.
Has anyone written in?
No. It's also been on the YouTube description of every episode. It's not on the descriptions of any other platforms, but it's in the YouTube and it's in the website. So you go down to the description below, there's an email address. Send us fucking bullshit, or if you want to be on the show, unless you're like some nobody we've never heard of.
But
in which case, I would
also we've also had some contact with several of the podcast people around here, and there's also some people who are wanting us to have them on. As guests.
Will we actually remember? I don't know. The only ones I remember is the Metaverse DGens and maybe we'd get Novid on as well, since you and I are probably gonna separately be on his show, so like it would make sense. Yeah. Like we're not super restrictive on it. It's like if you're known or if we know you. Like that's like one of the two. If we know you, or if you're just known in general.
No. If you have a podcast, bring me on. I don't care. I am an attention whore. I will go on any podcast.
He will go on any show.
What? Something that I do want to bring up that Faye told me earlier. Gears, were you drunk last night?
Oh yeah, tell me about that. What happened there? What happened there? Because I know, like, I said goodbye, and then like an hour or two later, you messaged me. You're like, I'm drunk.
I'm drunk. Oh, I wasn't that drunk.
Did the music go hard though?
Oh my!
Were the DJ sets awesome?
Fucking shit! Here's the thing about here's the thing about DJs in general. I've been to a lot of parties. I've been to a lot of different things in VR chat. I usually dislike the DJs, not because of like. They're bad.
I get it.
It's because I personally do not like the music of today's music genres in general.
Yeah. That is fair.
I hate mumble rap. It's like the fuck. But no,
bad memories are coming back.
When I heard the music last night, it was just a bunch of old classics that have been remixed just a teensy bit.
And it was a DJ.
So DJ DeFreeze. I'm actually a part of their Discord.
DJ DeFreeze. Oh, okay.
Don't they typically have multiple? Did they have multiple last night? I'm pretty sure they usually have like a couple at night, right?
They
most venues in general do. Two is kind of like standard for something that's not like a super special like annual thing, because they're doing this a couple nights in a row.
Oh, and they rickrolled the entire crowd.
I'm so happy. I'm
Not
so
the freeze.
sad.
It was the other one. It was the other one because what they did, I heard at the very end, like whenever I was going into this world to kind of like do some more advertising out of like whenever everyone kind of got a little bit like downed a bit, and I was sitting at the stand and then I went over to the TV and I heard fucking.
Oh my god.
And I went, yes, it's remixed as well.
That's awesome. I only know of like three.
Good
I only
job.
know of 3 DJs. The first one that I'm gonna mention is like Rob Roman voice.
I know of
only
him, yeah.
of them
Rob
because
Roman's voice.
Yeah, because I went to like a deal that they hosted in Vegas whenever TwitchCon was happening.
Ooh.
They had
Like real in the
rented out
physical.
Yeah, real in the physical. They
Damn.
had just like rented out like a really small bar, and so then like me, Radiant Soul, Fizzy, and a couple other people went to that. And it was really fun. It was really fantastic.
Yeah, all right.
Last
Who are the-
night for the drinking part. So for the drinking part,
the other two DJs that I know is Novid and Vanessa Wolf. Those are the
Novid
only
is-
other few. I know them
Novid's
both,
a
and
DJ?
Vanessa's a part of the Mythos Vegas crew. Novid DJs every now and then, yeah.
Oh, okay,
I
damn.
think.
I didn't know that. And of course, well, obviously I knew Vanessa did,
I think he DJs.
something relating to music. I don't know, something shenanigans buy on Steam.
Something
Something
shenanigans,
buy the
something,
game
something.
that John literally made on Steam.
I actually promoted that yesterday while I was
Oh,
drunk.
damn.
Oh heck yeah, heck
No,
yeah.
I'm a very I remember a lot of shit whenever I get drunk, but whenever I started drinking and then I was kind of partying around. I was talking to everyone, booping everyone's noses, kind of getting
As you do, as you do.
And as you do, yeah, exactly, as you do. As soon as you drink 5 pints of and I was just kind of like having a really good time, and then I'd be like, "Have you seen the podcast?"
He locks in. And I mean it in like the most general, like
Sober for like a moment.
and this isn't like, oh, lock in, bro. Like, oh, okay, the whole lock in joke is kind of funny, but like that's a good actual example of the man
Like, he
locked
actually
in.
Locked in.
Well, we were talking
That's
about
so
the time
funny.
that I died, or that I almost died from the tornado, and I was just like, "Have you seen the podcast?" And I immediately mentioned where you were, where your location was. It was like back over that way.
Yeah,
and,
my location reads
that you're
off my
right
address.
next to Nakama Vibes. Yes, and then I read
Yeah.
off. It is Washington State at Arlington Woods.
Where the fuck is what? Where? I was gonna say where's Washington State, but I have actually lived there for a couple of years. But
Where's Washington State? Good
I think
lord.
I lived in like Blaine. I don't remember much about it, but
I don't know.
That's so funny.
it was like right next to the border.
and then I mentioned where you were, where your location was. What was the most like vibrant and extremely like out there stall that was right next to, or like the name was a lot easier to ride or read. I mentioned Nakama Vibes. I'm like, oh yeah, I know where that stall is, and I'm like, yeah, they're right next to them. Go check them out. They got a QR code right next to the thing. You can get like VR chat name tags and everything like that. And there's also the podcast that's there as well.
I don't even need
And
to
I did
promote
that
myself.
several times. I did that several fucking times.
Faye got on to me today because she was like, you should have actually just tried to get the Mythos Makers booth up because people would have promoted it even if you weren't there. And I was like,
I promoted it even though there wasn't a booth.
Even though there wasn't a booth, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
that's what I was told. That's what I was told was that like there's people who still like rep Mythos Makers here.
Like,
so I was like, all right.
Here's how
So
many.
I
Okay,
literally-
sit your ass back down in the seat. You're floating again. You're not allowed to defy the laws of physics until after the show. You'll just have
Okay.
audio listeners. He just killed himself.
I died.
Unfortunate news. Very, very unfortunate news.
Well, I bring that up because Faye told me as well that like whenever you talked to her, the only thing that you said was just like, "You're cute. John's lucky to have you."
I get okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about me being drunk in general. I am exactly like my mother. My mother will fucking choke you out because she's hugging you.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And she's like,
okay.
you've done
You are
so
an affectionate
good.
drunk.
You're so good. And it's like,
Your
Okay.
spine pop.
Dies on the.
But no, that's how my mom is. And that's how I am when I am drunk.
SCP-173 has breached containment. Also known as your mother.
Joined the world as well. My fiance joined the world as well, and you want to know the most immediate thing I did was? I was like, this is my fiance, she's a lovely person, and then they're like, they live with you? And I'm just like, watch. And I took off my hands, ran over to the next room and picked her up and dragged her into my place space.
I did a slightly similar thing recently. I think you were there for it. I don't know exactly if you were or not, but
with Strawberry.
I was at my booth in VR, and Strawberry was here too, and Strawberry Strawberry was in VR, as well.
You were both in VR. Some candy, weren't you?
So I went downstairs to go to my lunchbox because I got a Twinkie from work, and I forgot I left it in my lunchbox. So I went downstairs to go get it. It was like a generic branded Twinkie, but it's pretty good. 2-pack. Yeah. And I was going upstairs. I'm like, I'm gonna go into Strawberry's room first because that's just a right turn instead of a left turn. I'm like, I got a Twinkie and you don't. You're fucking jealous about it. And then we started like arguing about it for like a minute or two. But like, and it's very clearly you'd be able to hear it in VR chat. Yeah.
I was at that moment with someone who just popped up all of a sudden, and I was advertising this shit to them, and then you guys started doing that, and I went, yeah, they're siblings, and they're like, that makes so
and
much
then
sense.
my AFK collapsed body rose from the ground like a minute later as I put my headset back on, and I'm like, so I got a Twinkie. And that was the bit.
Why wasn't this stuff recorded?
I know. God damn it. There was actually so much
shenanigans. There was so many shenanigans that we should have recorded. It would have been great if we actually had an OBS studio.
Shenanigans. But it would have been so much. Like, it would have to have been like a shadow play thing, because like there was too much footage of like actually good shit. Holy.
I know.
Did you guys see that Steam just announced they released a really fucking cool feature? Have you guys seen it?
What?
Steam released.
It's a moment thing.
Yeah, the Steam released literally just like NVIDIA Shadow Play built into Steam.
I saw like all the stuff because I got like the dev thing for it. I got the email of the dev thing for it, and I was like, holy crap, this is really sick.
And I'm pretty sure it can run on literally anything that has the Steam overlay enabled, so you should be able to use it for non-Steam games so long as you launch them through Steam and you enable the Steam overlay, which is not a hard thing to do at all. You can get the Steam overlay on non-Steam games. I know it's possible.
You can get the Steam overlay on non-Steam games, but in terms of like communicating, because you would have to try and coordinate app ID, because you have to do like app IDs and stuff. I haven't read the documentation for it yet, so I don't 100% know. But like with a lot of that type of stuff, like you have to associate like an app ID and stuff.
I'm pretty sure that you can, but don't quote me on it.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on it.
I've been
later,
having a fun
and in
time
editing, Nano will clarify.
Editing Nano might clarify. Now continue.
I will get the information to you.
Do illegal shit
I don't know if I'll actually care enough to.
I will threaten violence.
No! We gotta stop talking over each other as much. Now you continue.
Okay, so I've been liking the doing of the of just being here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare quit.
Though I wish I was paid. Oh God! I fell asleep today. And I was like, okay, Coda, I'm just gonna lay down and just go and just kind of just rest. And then all of a sudden, I like get up and I'm a little bit dazed, and I look down and my mom's calling me, and I answer, and I'm just like, what's going on? She's like, Why haven't you picked up the fiancé Spoosby? And I'm just like, huh? But it's not time yet. And looks down at the phone. Oh,
how late was it?
It was 9:34.
Oh,
so
no.
How long after the time you're supposed to is that?
No.
30 minutes.
Jesus
and she's
Christ.
by herself at a mall, basically.
No.
Shit.
I was like, fuck.
Unemployed sleep schedule. That's what it does to you.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Okay.
And then my fiance also got me an anvil for my birthday as well.
Yeah,
So
I think we
finally
mentioned
got
that
it
last episode.
on July 2nd.
Yeah.
I just finally got it in,
Hmm.
and I got to try it out. I'm gonna tell you this, not the best, but it does the job decently.
Can't believe it.
Yeah.
Can't believe this anvil can't cook me a grilled cheese and make my bed.
So
I don't know
it's
why
because
those
of
two
how
things.
small the weight is. It doesn't also have the anvil also doesn't have any fucking mounting points
At
all, which is weirdly stupid because it's designed to get hit with a hammer, but it doesn't have any mounting points. It's specifically a railroad anvil that has wooden pieces that like have certain like grooves in them, and so you can slide in a railroad in a certain configuration and then flip it over to get the secondary.
It's
And
weird to
actually
me
a
that
really
it
cool
doesn't-
idea.
Like the fact that it doesn't have
But it
mounting
doesn't-
points, despite it being like it's smaller,
Yeah.
therefore it's lighter. I feel like the smaller one should always have mounting points, and like a bigger one, it's like okay if it doesn't. It's like
It's still even then. It's sometimes not okay for the smaller ones, for the bigger ones to not have mounting points. 350-pound anvils.
I'm just saying, of all of them, if you had to have a one or the other size have mounting points, and the other one just could never have mounting points, in some weird fucking hypothetical, I think the small one should probably have some mounting points because it just should. It probably
It was
should.
also made of wood as well.
Yeah.
As in the base part where the sliding of the anvil is. The iron part's fine. The wood part, I don't know if it's gonna withstand all of my hammering. I just
There's only one way to find out.
I tested out a forge idea on it so that I could see if I could blacksmith again, and the forge didn't work. It uses charcoal instead of coal, which if you don't know anything about coal and just general, charcoal versus coal. Charcoal, weak, extremely not as energy dense, and also does not get as hot as normal coal. You are almost required to either use double or triple the amount of charcoal than you would actually need to do if you were doing something with coal instead.
So Mo
Coal
Yang is a
lasts way
bunch of
longer.
fucking liars.
Yes.
They're a bunch of lying sacks of shit. And they're they're Swedish, right? Right.
They're whores.
Sure.
Fucking lying ass Swedish people over there. And well, I was also would say Microsoft, but I mean the people at Bedrock Edition don't add features. They don't do that.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
They add viables.
No,
They had
just dissolve
viables, and they
studios
make-
that made good games.
Have you guys seen? Oh my god, the fucking clips. Just like a little quick side tangent. The clips of like how fucking horrible Bedrock Edition is. Of like you'll just die out of nowhere. You'll just combust. Like you'll place some
What?
blocks,
Bust.
they'll like
Wild.
disappear as you're still standing on them. You'll just die, or like you'll be climbing up a ladder, you'll just die. It's like it's so
And this
weird.
is like single player
That's
only.
wild.
Yeah, you could jump.
This is in single player.
You could jump towards a cliff, but stop before you fall off of it. You will take the fall damage as if you fell off of it, but you are still on the cliff. Like, it's not rubber banding.
That's
It's not like a
wild.
weird rubber banding thing. You are still physically on the cliff. You can interact with everything on the cliff. You can walk around up there, and you can actually fall off and then take more fall damage, but it will register the fall damage. It's like you have a ghost of you
The
that
yeah,
goes
I was
forward.
gonna say, is like the hitbox for the player different?
It's
Like, is there like
specifically
weird
the hit,
collider issues?
it's like it seems that the hitbox.
How do you do that?
It seems the hitbox
you do
has input delay and additionally can be completely separated from the rest of where the player actually is and can interact with chests and items and like
Just-
hit things and kill things from, but the taking damage hitbox can just be separated. That's what it looks like.
Just play Java Edition.
I
play
know,
Java.
it's just like
play Java.
man, it's like I
So
wish
weird.
I wish it was better because like
Hey,
you
guess what
know
you can do with
it's some
Java
people's only
Edition?
option.
You can connect up your fucking controller and actually play like you're doing Bedrock, but you're not.
Yeah, you can use a controller in Java if you have like I think you still need mods for it, but
Yeah.
or you could do
It's a
VR
mod, but
Minecraft.
It's easy to install.
You know, that's also a thing too.
We need to do another VR Minecraft fucking SMP.
Vivecraft Season 2, sorry, Virtual SMP Season 2 win. God, that's something I haven't said out loud in a long time. Hopefully someday.
God. I remember when it
Hopefully someday. The first one was still a bit of a mess. There was a VR exclusive Minecraft SMP that I did for a bit there, and it was a big learning experience because there was a lot of issues and it was kind of short-lived. However, if we went ahead and did a season 2 at some point, it would be absolutely fucking amazing. I know all the pitfalls now.
Yeah, I think there'd be more people on there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know so many more people now, and like I know also the people I don't want to invite, which no one caused any issues necessarily. It's more so just the fact that like half the people I invited like only did day 1 because also they're not even that into Minecraft, and then like for the half that stayed, like a couple of specific people, especially Chronic. Holy shit. A couple people were crazy dedicated. Like Chronic, Kira, I want to say Raid, Winter, Winter, and
I was there for it.
yeah, you were there for. Roland was super, like, he did a lot of stuff too as well. He tried to make a whole fucking like ARG thing, like a whole storyline thing, but unfortunately the server died out before that could come to fruition. But I would 100% invite him next time because like I want to see the coal hole thrive.
You know what I really want to do is I actually really want to like help set that up next year or next time because
whenever
honestly,
it happens, I would be asking a couple extra people for help. Even though I could 100% do it on my own, I do just want to take other input specifically so that like I overthink everything, so I would be fine. But I'm gonna ask for help next time, just anyways, regardless of what I'm capable of.
the Cult of Shadow.
Was that a thing? Oh,
yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, because oh my god, because Mino was the only other so like me and Mino were the only 2 people with admin privileges, and Mino wasn't really I wouldn't really say allowed, but just like wasn't really supposed to go ahead and like actually play the game and have a base and stuff because Mino didn't have VR yet. But like I just needed someone with mod privileges who could like be in desktop all the time, and then there was me who had of course admin like in VR and not in VR. I still wouldn't play in desktop at all. Mino would go around and do god mode things. Mino once gave someone a command block. I think she gave Roland a command block, right?
Yeah,
but you can't place them in survival. You also can't click them.
I fucking decided to make an entire fucking cathedral that was underground called the Cult of Shadow.
Did I ever see this cathedral?
No, you never saw it.
Damn.
It was in that fucking world, and it was made of deep. It was made of like some black stone. I remember. Or at least something that was like dark and gray. And me and Mino were just kind of like in a Discord call while I'm doing everything, just making this entire thing.
It's amazing. Holy shit.
Mino's like kind of just sitting there just like, I finally have a home. I have a home.
There was a lot of funny bits there with Mino being an admin and having access to like the vanish command and stuff like that because there was funny. I think Roland once said a line, and this is clipped somewhere, I could go back and get the clip, but he was saying, like, there's something, he used a certain type of word for, like, describing, something, like holy, or, like, godly, like, I don't know, like, or, like, even, maybe something, like, what's it called?
Divine?
What is it called? Divine. Divine. There was one other word, it's, like, Greek mythology related, you know. I don't actually have a word, just like also kind of
got it.
Yeah, something like that. But he was like, there's something really interesting here about having something insert word here about having a god drop a command block from the sky that we can't even use. It was so. It was really good.
Oh my god,
that's funny.
Mino and Roland
was
like
honestly
just like talked so much during that as well, like because we had kind of scuffed in-game voice chat, and like they would just talk like late hours of the night because Roland would just be on really late hours working on stuff, and it was really cool. And I don't think those two have really interacted much other than that, but they just haven't had the opportunity to.
Don't.
It just doesn't line up.
We've got to do that again. We've got to do that again.
Absolutely.
No, like, that is one of
some,
those things that
I think
we gotta
Virtual
find out what
SMP
is-
Season
what-
2 has got to happen before I fucking die, before the heat of the universe.
Virtual is the fucking Vivecraft, is it still functioning?
So Vivecraft, I've looked into it a little bit. Vivecraft's updates are confusing. I'm in their Discord here. I could check real quick. It's iffy.
I've also got their Patreon as well. They have a Patreon.
I think I was gonna subscribe to their Patreon, and then I'm like, wait, no, I am not made of money right now. Why would the fuck would I care? But you know, now
if it's only
money
$1
is the
and
thing I
get
have.
porn out of it.
They haven't like made announcements in their server since fucking Christmas. However, with updates, I don't know. Have they been doing things with updates in here? I don't know. I could probably scroll through. Their Discord's a little bit of a mess. But like, I'm pretty sure it's still pretty recently updated. However, I don't know what their Forge or Fabric or Optifine support is like.
They got 1.20.1.
Okay,
That's
but
what their version is up to.
does it have Forge or Fabric?
Works best with room scale, Steam VR, Vivecraft can also be played on mobile.
It's like on the
VR
downloads
devices.
page is where it is.
All standalone Vivecraft versions of Vivecraft include Optifine for performance and support for shaders.
Yeah, they include Optifine. However, is there Forge support?
The Forge modding platform is supported on most standalone versions. Most.
Okay. Because I know sometimes the Forge version is a bit delayed.
1.18 Vivecraft is available as Fabric and Forge compatible mix-in mods.
Yes. Okay. Because that is something really fucking tough. I'm gonna say Forge. It's dated. Fabric is the mod loader nowadays. It just is. So if we did it, I would want to do some more stable things. I'd want to use Fabric instead of Forge, and like those optimization mods instead of Optifine, because Optifine is also loaded, and there's like a lot of issues with that. And there were like. When we were doing virtual SMP, it was like the lag was sometimes totally fine for some people who had worse computers than me, and then I had a better computer than another person, yet my frame rate would be fucking 2. Like, I don't know what the fuck was up with that. It was so inconsistent. And I had made sure that everybody had like I had like described, here's all the menus and the sub menus where there's like VR specific performance settings that you might need to adjust, and yet it was still inconsistent across the board. Hopefully that's fixed by now.
I think the people that we should try and invite this time is probably the people who were like very dedicated last time.
Yeah, definitely. And on top, I mean, those people are no-brainers, as well as I have a better understanding of who the fuck would and wouldn't be dedicated, who hasn't been invited, which it's a lot of people. I know a lot of people now that, like, a lot of the people that I knew at that time, a lot of the people that I knew at that time, in hindsight, yeah, fucking obviously they, like, it was, like, not necessarily stupid, but just, like, pointless to invite, because clearly that like they weren't going to be super invested in it, and that's like not to their own fault. I mean, it's just Minecraft, you know, some people are Minecrafted out, some people they're not super into it. I know I only do like the annual Minecraft SMP for like a couple weeks with friends, like literally once a year, and like I don't know, maybe on an excruciatingly rare occasion I'll go play some Hypixel Bed Wars, which I also haven't done that occasion in like a year, so pretty rare. So like I get it, but like man, I really do want to do that soon. Not soon, but just at some point within the next I don't want to say next couple years. However, realistically, I've got a lot on my plate, and I don't know what it looks like. I'm done giving ETAs for anything. I literally can't give. I can't give an ETA of when I'm about to step out the door leaving work, even if it's obvious.
Well, to touch on a little bit of like what's going on with me in terms of like streams or anything else like that, I'm starting to here soon. I'm going to do more regular streams because now I've got the time and ability to. So
yeah,
now
that's true.
I'm going to be doing some regular VR chat streams.
Wow,
so,
VR chat streams. That's crazy.
Avatars and stuff as well.
And updates for me as well.
I'm essentially going to be doing meme avatars. So most of the stuff will be like, hey, I'll probably have like 1 or 2 meme avatars for like a Tuesday and a Thursday and show those off. So that's essentially what I'm planning on doing.
And then for me, I am going to be doing several things.
Whoa!
Yeah. There's a lot of things that we're all doing. I'm still working on a shenanigans animation.
Fair enough. This is so weird. It's like the passage of time has been so fucking scary. It's now actually starting to calm down a little bit as I'm still adjusting to my work schedule, but I'm actually like, things are actually improving right now. Which is good. They're actually on a good, because it's just like, I was unemployed for a long period of time, and even when the job before was like, not as involved and like only a summer job that I only had for a couple months anyways, so it's like this has been a complete fucking shake up in my life. And it's weird because like typically I'd get up whenever I just wake up whenever I need to stream, you know, that would be the thing that would get me out of bed. So I knew that a job would be getting me out of bed on time, and it has been. And it's been so weird the passage of time because the crazy thing is I haven't streamed in, I just checked, 5 weeks and 2 days. 5 weeks, over a month, a week and 2 days, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like the third 1,000 Year Door stream, 1,000 Year Door Part 3 stream, was like maybe a week or two ago.
Damn.
Nope.
However, by the time this episode comes out,
continue that game.
By the time this episode comes out, I will be like back into actually streaming 2 or 3 times a week again. Because these episodes are still a couple weeks delayed.
3 episodes.
And despite the delay after another delay, because I was supposed to get back to it in the 3rd week, and then I was supposed to in the 4th week, and then now it's like the 5th one. We're recording this on Saturday. I will hopefully, if all works out, and even if it doesn't, I'm gonna fucking try to make it happen anyways, because fuck it, it's been too long. I have to do it now. Gonna stream this Monday.
Okay.
Right.
Gonna stream this Monday.
So for my content, I am gonna be making more VR chat or VR content in general. I'm gonna have Nano teach me how. I'm gonna have Nano teach me how to use DaVinci. Just multiple different things, Pavlov, several other things.
Okay.
Specifically, I want to learn how to edit a video so I can do it myself and actually like get it all out, because that's about the only thing that's really fucking me over, because I don't know how to use any editing software.
Start watching some random. My advice for anyone who wants to learn an editing software: just start watching some YouTube videos. Specifically, recent ones are handy, and take bits and pieces from different creators' tutorials, because some have certain methods of doing things, some have others. Like the only unique advice I can provide for DaVinci is, I have a hotkey of like 1 to split a clip, 2 to like cut everything before that, 3 to cut everything after that, and 4 I think is like a delete key, like also.
I would like someone there to at least help with the process of me doing that.
It is a weird piece of software sometimes. There's a couple like different areas where the hotkeys just will change up on you. So like, there's a couple little oddities here and there you have to be told about. But it is great.
So, I already have a Pavlov video that needs to be edited. That's almost, I think, about 2 hours long, and it needs to be cut down. And it was just basically me fucking around on Pavlov, which is kind of what I like to do some a lot of times. And then I also I want to do more. I would love to do some VR Minecraft stuff. That would be fun. VR chat, just kind of like running around and doing voices and stuff like that.
Well, I also have to teach you how to make thumbnails. Do you know anything about graphic design? Uh-oh.
I know graphic design. I just don't like thumbnail patterns.
Look, that's why I kind of just do my own thing for thumbnail. I've absolutely loved making the thumbnails for this podcast, more so than I've ever enjoyed making any thumbnails before. I typically have not actually really enjoyed making thumbnails that much because I'm not super good at it, but when the source material is just the thing we're talking about, and I just have to slap our avatars on something like silly because it's a podcast, it's a very different type of thumbnail. It's pretty straightforward. It doesn't have to kind of be clickbait. I mean, it does a little bit, but like in the light clickbait sense of like just generally throwing around the word of making someone click on this because it seems interesting. And it's been really fun to make these. Like, just when I made episode's 8th thumbnail last night of, like, Gears getting sucked into the fucking tornado. There was one annoying thing of trying to figure out how to distort the image of you just right, but not too much to where it actually kind of looks like you're getting pulled in. I finally was able to pull it off, but it took a while. And then in the end, after now the episodes come out, I realized the photo of the tornado actually isn't that good. But whatever. You can't really see it back there because it's kind of covered by your massive ass. No, your massive ass self.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyways, I think
Thank you for my message.
with that, we are now, I think, like an hour 20 in. So
Yeah,
I have one last thing to say.
Go ahead.
Last thing to say, because this was the last part of the content.
swear
Because
to
you guys
God.
didn't let me fucking
No,
finish.
I was gonna say, yeah, the final call.
So, I also have an ETA on my Twitch streaming career, because that one actually did get a release date set, and it is September 10th.
That's a bit
I'll
far.
be
that's a bit
streaming on
far away.
9/11.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god.
What?
Satisfactory got its release date for 1.0, which is the update that literally signifies
Satisfactory
being completed.
1.0 is releasing the day before the towers fell.
I know that. Oh my god! Let me search this up right now.
This is what I wanted him to mention, by the way. He didn't mention, but all the days of, like, throughout PJKT, he kept mentioning the fucking the second camel has hit the hamel. The episode, I kept telling people, if I don't care if you're gonna watch the show or not, at least go look at the title and thumbnail of episode 5.
Yes.
Do you know my secondary favorite thing? Actually, my first favorite thing to mention. I only mentioned that like 4 or 5 times. No, my favorite thing to mention was if you're ever gonna watch this, just make sure this has also got mildly dark humor. Have you ever seen Hitler's art? It looks terrible.
That's exactly how he says it every time.
Perfect.
It's
That's so funny.
I mean, you know, when we say Gears
For those of you who
has
got your
sales
bingo
experience, bingo card.
We just crossed off so much stuff.
Ooh, cross off a couple things there on the quota. All right, we've hit the quota. Speaking of quotas, Lethal Company update came out. Might want to stream that, maybe. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. But
Yeah, we'll think about it.
What were you looking for? You were looking for something, right? Yeah, you were looking to see when the game update came out.
It is September 10th of 2024.
Okay.
And I love their fucking. Do you want to know what their release trailer was codenamed?
What was it called?
Satisfactory Toilet Flush. Oh, and we're releasing 1.0 on September 10th.
In the footnotes. It goes in the footnotes. I mean, obviously, because no one gives a fuck about Satisfactory. I've never even heard of the game, honestly. I don't know what the fucking. I don't know.
I
just
am
offended
Satisfactory.
you.
I'm a very technical person.
You see, this is the part where I put a fucking explosion PNG because of how mad you just.
Okay.
Ah, they're fucking gay. I'm free.
He's screaming. The people on the
he's
show
still
will be
screaming.
able to hear him, but we can't. Whatever the fuck you just said,
We
the viewers
cannot
are going to be
hear
able to hear it, but we can't. So, I hope it wasn't something racist.
That's funny. Anyways, I think that will be where we call it.
I think it might be, yeah. This episode was awesome. I thought this was great. And if you guys have not seen it yet, before I even advertise the main outro thing, go ahead and check out Projekt Community if you are into VR chat.
Oh, yeah.
It is very
Check out
awesome.
Check out Projekt Community. Like, all of the team members are really wonderful. I've talked to like several of them. They're really, really
That is so
wonderful.
fucking fun.
So please.
Yeah, so many. Shout out to like all the directors and all the staff team. Like, I mean, I could literally name each and every one if we want to, but you know, just they're all awesome. I'm also including me. Okay, there he goes to get the list. There is a list over there. Yeah,
we're not gonna read it, but
we're not gonna read it.
So check out PJKT. Check out all the different stuff that they're doing. They've got several other different festivals and stuff that they're doing, not just PJKT,
which is nice
community.
because doing an event only annually is not super healthy. So having events throughout the year as well is really handy. Like, they do film festivals, they do 8-ball pool tournaments, they do other things. I don't actually remember a lot myself.
Different things like that, yeah.
But like, it's great
They've got
if you're
a couple different things. They just recently did Inc., which is mostly programming, and then they've also got Horror Fest as well.
Yeah,
which I think will
HorrorCon.
be
I do.
coming in
They don't host HorrorCon, but like they partner with them very closely.
Yeah, they're affiliated.
Like it's like really close ties. Yeah, if you literally like are into VR chat at all, or even if you're not really, but you want to, but like you're not a super sociable person, come over here because it's like. It's just everyone's really nice, so I think you'd really enjoy it over here.
I did actually start listing off names, by the way.
I'm going to mute your fucking mic during that part.
Yeah, please. We'll put that at the end. What has been this episode of Final? Oh my god.
If you want to find all of our bullshit,
John, let's end this.
No, if you want to find all of our bullshit,
I'm going to say it.
oh, you're gonna say it?
Shut up. This is my outro.
Okay, go ahead. I've always done the links thing, so go ahead. I didn't know.
I'm gonna get small.
If you want to check out everything else that we do, we have all of our links and stuff over on F3B podcast.com. There you can find all the stuff that each of us do, including methodlessmakers.com, NanoBun's Twitch and YouTube, and Gears' links to all of his stuff, which I think is like a
Still coming soon, but it's someday.
Your Twitter's the only thing that's on there.
Over the procrastinating.
With that, I have been John Code,
I've been NanoBunTV.
and that is outro.
Wow! The amount of
Just run off and do that.